Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and we're going to be playing a session of 25 and I'll snap just shortly. And many of you may be surprised with that after my video yesterday, but it's the precisely yesterday's video that's making me do this. I wasn't happy with yesterday's video in terms of that I just like quit after like maybe just 12 minutes of play. A bit of a sulk at the end, and I mean that sulk was entirely justified. We did get fucked over pretty royally. But that's not really the point. You know, don't sulk, Reg, don't be a baby. But more important than that, I just wanted to like reach out to some of the guys in the community who watched my videos, who've been kind enough. I mean, a couple of guys actually went out of their way to send me some emails offering support, and what have you. And a few people mentioned like on Facebook sent me messages, etc. And I just thought it was really kind, and it's just it restored my faith in humanity a little. And yesterday, another thing happened to me. Well, not to me actually. That's a selfish way of putting it. I was supporting the young man with autism who I support, and he was playing pool, and he had a pretty big and like quite unpleasant experience. He had a big seizure, and it was quite scary. But we were in like a local pool hall, and the reaction of the staff and the customers just like filled me with warmth, and like yeah, it just restored my faith a little bit in humanity. But my day got off to a bad start. I got fucked over making a poker video, and then much worse than that, the young man who was with had a pretty traumatic experience. And the fact that like for the rest of the day, I could bask in the like the warmth of the kindness shown by both by people who watch my content and the people who showed us a lot of empathy and sympathy in the pool hall. It was just it was considered it was like a bad day. It was a good day, and I'm not gonna like just make an 18-minute video and then that's it. Let's just fucking sulk for a little bit because clearly out there there's some people who do give a shit. And I just want to let the people know who do give a shit. I am completely fine. I'm a bit fed up with speed poker. Big deal. There's worse things going on in the world than some fat nit, who's probably fucking overprivileged in terms of like he has a nice work-life balance and makes an income from poker, crying and whining about not having the best of fucking starts to the month or what have you. So it's quite pathetic, quite childish of me to like end the video short I did yesterday. So we're going to do another one today, and it doesn't matter whether I win or lose. What matters is, am I going to play well? And that's literally all that matters. So yeah, here we go. We're gonna play some poker, and we're gonna make sure we try and enjoy ourselves and produce like a reasonable piece of content. And let's see if the games ever fucking start. Here we go. We're off. We are off and running. Yeah, so thank you to those guys. You know who you are. Several of you reached out just to offer me support and just to be kind and what have you. I mean, whatever. Just gonna call with this. Oh, happy days. Just ripping off the trips. Um, this guy just does not fall to C bets, so we're not going to try and make him in the multi-way pot. This guy folds quite a lot to C bets. This guy doesn't. We got. Oh, didn't realise we were fucking four-handed. Wow. Yeah, never a C bet in a million years. No way I paused. For some reason, I just sort of heads up against this dude. Then these two guys just crept in. So yeah, thank you very much to those people who reached out to me yesterday. I can honestly say with like 100% sincerity, it doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't go unappreciated. But I really am completely fine. No problem at all. I mean, think financially, as we saw with the graphs, things are going well. Um, just hasn't been the best of, in terms of win rate, it's been shit. In terms of actual money made, it's been completely fine. And yeah, I'm not ready to put my head in the gas oven or anything like that. But thank you very much for reaching out. It really is appreciated. Right, that's enough ass kissing from me. I hope this pool doesn't break. If it does, we'll just flick into some fucking 10 or something because um, those of you who are kind enough to reach out to me who clearly like quite enjoy watching me. I feel like I owe you after yesterday because yesterday was childish. 6-9. I mean, we want to play pots with this. Yeah, fuck it. We're just gonna play it. We want to play pots with this guy. We want to play pots with this guy. It's very loose open, but we're doing it. And we have a pair and a gut shot. Not much else going on. And it is bottom pair, so we're not going to see bet. Just going to continue checking. The point of playing this hand against these two guys was to make a relatively strong hand and get value, not to try and like turn bottom pair into plus. We might even have the best hand. They might just let us win, and they do. I think we'll be folding the Jack 5 suited to the under the gun 4x. Unless we have some like very obvious folds, we're going to try and wait until the action's on us before we do anything pre-flop today. Just want to try and play it as well as I can. Don't give a fuck about how many hands per hour. And just if I've got a hand that I should open, I'm just going to wait to open it, even if it's that close to the bottom of my opening range. We have a pair and a flush draw here. I don't know anything about this player. We're going to kick it off with a check. I'm going to defend the king 10 here versus this fishy looking fellow. This guy's made a bet. We have a pretty easy call. Here against this complete unknown, not particularly favourable flop. Just gonna let it go. Check call again here against this player. Doesn't bet. We river a flush. Just gonna hope he's got two pair plus here and go with a pretty large bet. And he does call. And he had two pair. And we're going to go with the 3-bet here. Get a call. This player might be pocket pair heavy here, but still a dry enough flop, I think, where we just want to see better entire range. So we're going to. If we get raised, we have a trivial fold. If we get called, then we probably, especially on this turn, just check back against the hands that we have showdown value against. You know, it's great. And if he has a better hand, it's just so unlikely he's going to fold. So just try and get to showdown now. He checks again. I think he's going to have a lot of pocket sevens, pocket threes, pocket eights and stuff. I don't think we've got any chance of making him fold. And he can still have some worse ace X. So we're going to just check back. Here's the 8-5 suited. So that's a note going on this guy. Quickly get to him, Reg, get to him. Open, call, 8-5 suited. So this guy is going to meet Mr. 3-bet a lot going forward. Important information. When I first logged in, there was 25 players in this pool, or 25, not 25 individual players, but we were playing six-handed and the hands were flowing quite freely. Hopefully, we don't end up playing like four-handed and waiting ages for tables to load, which can sometimes be the case when these snap pools are small. 3-bet here, trivial fold with the ace jack. And again here, we were going to play the king 10, but this guy looks like he's having an absolute blast with his 3-betting strategy. Opening the ace 3 against somebody who looks relatively weak tight. Given this guy looks like he might be on the aggro side, we're not going to open the 8-7. And keep an eye on him because he looks pretty tight, but he seems to enjoy hitting that 3-bet button. But it's small sample size, could be anything. Right. I was about to say, just check on this pool size because it's not looking good. We might have to dip into the realms of 10 and L just for the purposes of making content. But we do see this guy up here who looks like he might be bad. So I don't really want to leave the pool. If we can avoid it, it's not especially tough. We've got this Neptune and this Quarahino who look like they're probably reasonable regs, and then the rest look dog shit. Could 3-bet or call here. We'll go with the call this time. Flop in a flush draw. This guy c-bets reasonable frequency, 63%. Real reason to raise here. Doesn't barrel a turn a huge amount, only 43% turn barrels. He does check. Do we want to start turning our hand into a bluff here? How much King X does he check here? I think we just want to double barrel here. I think he's going to like c-bet range quite a bit on this board, like pocket 8s, pocket 7s, pocket 9s, etc. I don't think we'll get him off it for 1-bet. I think if he had strong King X, he would probably double barrel. It's not like he's never barreling 43% turn barrel. It's not like he's never barreling. It's not like he's checking his entire range. Stinks there if we get raised, but we probably have a relatively easy call and just try and get there. Nine, 8 off. Well, we have 2 yellow tags, so we'll be opening. Flopping the nuts. We like that. Not the worst flop to get action on either, really. 6, 7 suited, but 3 aggro-ish players behind us, so we're not going to open. Going to bet big here on this turn. Hope he's got a set. Hope he's got 2 pair. Hope he's got a straight. He has none of those things, by the look of it, which is unfortunate. 3 is probably a bad card. Not opening into this short stacking cunt bag. Do we want to 3-bet this guy's under the gun open? I don't think we do. He plays 15/15 under the gun. Pretty tight. I mean, we can't fold it. The hand's too strong, but don't think we want to be 3-betting. We're going to check call twice here and probably check fold to a triple. Unless our hand improves, of course. Picking up the aces. This guy plays 23/23 under the gun. Not a massive folder to 3-bets at 43%. This guy checks back, which is going to block the river. We get 4-bet. We'd love to see it. I guess we're all in. Could just call, but it's under the gun, so he probably hasn't got too many 4-bet folds in his range. He doesn't. He has the queens. And we do a hold. Love to see it. And then we get the same guy at the next table. Just going to 3-bet him again. He folds. Not going to open into this chap with the 10 high. Do we want to open Jack 4 suited? He's an empty seat. I think we do. It's going to treat us that we're on the button here because of this guy who's actually on the button. This guy's got his 3-betting boots on again. He's going to fold the ace jack. session stats are. Well, similar to your overall stats. Do you want to 3-bet the Jack 8 suited here? Probably not against somebody who looks like they're going to be a little bit too call happy. 47-29. Probably not the type of player that's going to have a lot of folds versus 3-bets, and then we're just going to be left out of position with Jack high. We have to open the 6-7 if it falls to us. Fortunately, some guy playing 28/5 has opened for 4x, so spares has been 3-bet by Quarino. 6-7 offsuit. No. It's the second time he's saved us from opening into this guy with his 4x opens. Beautiful. Pocket fives, 3 regs behind, although the guy in the big blind's barely a reg. But he plays regularly, etc., but he's not got the most intimidating of stats. And notes stay on him. Not for very weak second pair, blind versus the big blind one's good. Feeble might be a minor station, does not attack weakness. In that case, we're just going to check back our 5s, given that he can be stationary and he's not going to punish us for our weakness. Apologies for the less than flattering note if you ever watch this channel, sir. Okay, so we've flatted Queen Jack suited in the big blind here. We've got pair. We've got basically just backdoors. I'm going to peel and then just donk a 10, donk a heart, give up on the rest. And then we get the queen, which is the awkward card to hit. You can obviously start by checking. Hope this guy checks back or doesn't bet big. We probably call one more and then just check fold rivers a lot. I mean, you can still have flush draws here, etc., that won't always bluff rivers. I mean, I'm not very confident we're going to win the hand, but I don't think we can call that flop bet and then turn when we improve to second pair. Maybe we can. What the fuck do I know? Just check fold river. And we win. Against ace-6, a double-barreled second pair. Yeah. Less said about that, the better. But that's one I would definitely go back after the session and put a note on, because it's nice to know those types of things. The c-bet hand, he probably, well, maybe you should just c-bet range, but I don't fucking know. Didn't seem like it was good to me. Right, so never mind. He's folding now with a Jack 8. Min open, min 3-bet. It's fair to say you can get a very early green tag. Well, not that early, 74 hands. With the ISO with the pocket, need to sort that out. changing my ISO sizing. So right, versus one limp. Let's quickly change this. Just want to be going small versus one limp these days, I think. I think that's more the done thing these days, more than going with the big ISO sizes. What do we want to do here? This guy falls 75% over a small sample. Guess we still want to bet. If we're ahead, we could use the protection or get some value. Oh, didn't realise the Lord was into. That's a mistake, Reg. Pay attention. That is a mistake. I mean, it's only a small mistake, and we're clearly just booking dead in two spots, so no big deal. But yeah, didn't notice that Slod had called behind. I was too busy updating my 888 caption. This guy is not a folder, so we're going to try and get some value with our pocket tens. I think it's getting mighty thin now. Mighty thin, but he's just not a folder. So he's going to go like really small, try and target 8x, etc. He just does fold the turn. Maybe that was too thin with the tens. Maybe that was a bit greedy. But yeah, he just doesn't have to have an ace to check call that flop, I guess. Flopping the nuts here. It's going to be hard to get paid, I guess, but if we're going to bet here multi-way, I guess we just bet quite big because, you know, we're just going to have so few bluffs. There's just no reason to bet small. And sadly, everybody folds. No issue there, though. We shouldn't be betting very often at all in multi-way pots. But we flop the nuts, and it's just a 9 high board, so there just are things that will call us. And we do want to start building a pot when we got the nuts. The fact everyone folded is just, it's unfortunate, but it does make me think maybe we shouldn't have bet. I still think betting was entirely appropriate. If we get squeezed here, we're just going to fold. I mean, I think this guy is probably out of line, but I mean, this sizing is just nothing we can do about it. It's just very, very hard for him to have any bluffs there. Do we get to see? No more action. No more action. And I think he probably is a little bit out of line. You know, with those like very high 3-bet stat. Clearly has a strategy that involves doing a lot of 3-betting, but there's just nothing we can do in that exact spot. Maybe when he's behind us, we just open tighter. Folding the Queen Jack. Try and ISO the limper. Fail to isolate. Make a marginal hand. Multi-way, we're just going to check back here and just try and show our hand down. Hope we just have the best hand now when it goes check, check twice, but both of these guys can have some pretty weak ace-x that they're never going to value bet, but never going to fold either. Do we bet now? I mean, we could get caught by Jack-X, I guess. Going to fold the ace-jack off to the small 3-bet, even though the guy looks fishy. You're not going to wait to open the 10-4 into a short stacker. On your regs and nits behind, so we fold the 5-6 off. 5-6 suited, sorry. This guy's having a blast, isn't he? 9/8. He's having an absolute whale of a time. I'm just going to oval him versus his stack size with the pocket fours. No set, no bet. don't know why I'm waiting with the 10 deuce. It's never going to be an open. We are going to be playing the jacks, so we're going to be V-pipping here with the jacks. 31-14 4xing. I mean, when's a 4x ever anything other than like a really good hand? But we have two jacks. He's on the button. Let's go, I guess. I mean, the 4x open's always a really strong hand. Nice answer. Maybe with him it's not a particularly strong hand. Because this guy, 4x, 4x, king jack off button and snap jam. 40 BB was it? Versus 3-bet. Good for you, sir. Good for you. Do we want to overlimp the 8-9? I don't think so, especially not with two decent rigs in the blinds. I guess we're just going to make up the small blind with the king 10 off. Flopping the open ender. Don't really want to check call when the most likely people betting are going to be the passive guys who've limped. So we're going to just have a stab instead. I'd rather just, if we're going to put money in the pot by check calling with passive guys kicking around, I'd probably just rather put the money in by betting myself and at least then picking up some folds sometimes. Going to barrel a turn, just try to set our own price, and then just, if we don't improve river, just give up. We do not improve river, and now we're just going to give up. Do we want a 3-bet here, or do we want to call and let the guy in the blinds in? We're ahead of his range for definite, and we don't mind the blind coming in. In this spot, on the button, I think we just want to have a 3-bet. 2 overs and back doors. We're going to just call one here. Duke pick up a king on the turn. He barrels pretty big. I'm now getting concerned that we just don't have the best hand. Because we talked about earlier about this guy, he doesn't have a ton of barrels. And I suspect the river barrel is going to be coming at a pretty high frequency, but we have to call here. And I'm probably going to make a disciplined fold on the river if he bets again. I mean, I don't know what this is, but we're going to call it. And that is 7-5. Odd, but we'll take it. Picking up the nut flush draw on the turn. Do we want to check back here and realise, or do we want to continue blasting? Don't think we're going to get check raise very much at all. How many folds do I think we're going to get? He folds 56% on the turn, but that's like everything. You need 3-bet pots where someone check calls on ace high. It's going to have a lot of ace X, I guess. I'm just going to try and realise my equity here. Pretty weak, but he's one of the better players in the pool. No reason to go nuts trying to outplay him. And now we just have an easy fold. Maybe that was weak. Maybe we just bet the turn, but if he's got a hand that wants to bet that river, probably just had us beat. Probably should have led this flop, but my time bank was running down and I just checked. Picking up a pair now as well. Yeah, that king queen hand, maybe it should just be a barrel. But the thing is, it's a 3-bet pot. We don't have many flushes either. Whether that's relevant or not, I don't really know. I guess we call here. River in the flush. And we're just going to lead. Excuse me. Don't raise. Just call. Oh, he's put the min raise in. I mean, whatever. Nice answer. Nice answer. Right, so open limp queen 9 suited. Not aggressive with not flush draw. Oh, where's my fucking note gone? Come on, where you at? Not aggressive with what the fuck's NGS reg? And not flush draw. Multi-way. Min raise river when hitting. Not the best of notes. My notes when I'm actually making them in play aren't great, but it's something. It's a place marker, isn't it? It's something for. It just helps us in future hands, and then at some point I will. You know, if we get another note on him at some point, then I'll be like, right, let's just mark this hand so after the session we can go in and actually put a proper note on rather than just have some shit like description of how we played just one hand, which often isn't that useful. Right, we've been 3-bet. We have jacks. Against this guy, it's just a 4-bet. We can't be wimping out of these situations. It's just a 4-bet against this guy. We are deep, so we're going to rat hole this table actually because he's one of the only players who we appear to be deep within the pool, and he's an aggressive cunt bag. So let's take that warning for what it is, which is we're close to 200 blinds deep with someone who's going to cause us issues. So do some rat holing. We'll just play this hand out, then we'll do it. Picking up the royal flush draw. Come on, king of clubs. Just hit me with that king of clubs. Boom, here it comes. Do now have a double gut shot to go with that royal flush draw. Don't bet too big. I want to get there. That's a price I'm willing to call. King of clubs. Boom! No, we do make a flush though. Is this guy going to bet an ace if we check to him? Do we just lead out here ourselves? I think we do. He's got a full house, then so be it. And he folds. Right, let's just do the rat holding. Not doing it on video. It's too demeaning. There we go. We've got that dirty little bit of business out of the way. Right, okay. This guy's opening to 21 big blinds. He's already getting that. I want to be aware of any pot this guy enters, or any hand in which I'm in a pot with him. Is 7 suited? I mean, we're just going to keep calling against this guy and just force him to play pots out of position against us. And I'm not in a big rush to get in a pissing contest with regulars. Hello, ladies. Ace 9 off. This guy isn't a folder to 3 bets. Just going to defend. This guy doesn't fold much, so we're not going to use our usual c-bet sizing against him. We're going to size up because of his predilection for calling. He leads this turn, which doesn't thrill me. And obviously we're never folding. Referring a straight. Hope he doesn't blast. Just bet, like, I don't know. I guess we just have a pretty easy bet fold here now. Hope he's got 9x. I'm just going to fold there. She raised. She's just never going to raise a worse hand for value. And he had ace jack. Interesting line. Two limpers. Pop it up, I guess, and take it down. King 10 off. Don't like this guy being behind me. Don't like this guy being in the big blind, but it's just a pretty mandatory open from the cutoff. We get 3-bet really tiny by someone playing 31-8, 2.7. We're crushed here, but you never know. We might flop trips. We might flop a straight, and we're getting a ridiculous price. So we're going to call and see a flop and proceed with extreme caution post flop. And we now have a trivial fold. Could be a bit loose into someone who looks like they like seeing flops, but we'll try. Do we squeeze here? This guy's got a high fold to 3-bet. This guy can't have a strong hand. I guess we do, and just side fold if we get 4-bet. Do get called. Not a seat flop I'm going to see. I think this guy's going to be incredibly pocket pair heavy. Flop an open ender here on table, first table. Checking back here. Turning the straight, which is nice. He leads out. I'm going to hope he's got a set here. I'm just going to raise now. Easy call over here with a nut draw, which gets there. He folds sadly. Never mind. I think we're all in here. Think we're all in. Bugger. Never mind. 10 jack. Guess we call. We have a gut shot, but this guy's c-bet multi-way. Flopping top pair. Do we want to barrel this turn? I don't think we do. I don't like the 9 of diamonds. It feels kind of dirty. Guess we just call rivers. We can't really check back this turn and fold the river if he bets. Now I guess we bet size that a queen could call. Fold into a raise. Three betting the queens. Did that guy call that previous hand? Yeah, jack queen. Jack 5 suited. Nope. Stabbing just one time, just one and done here with the king jack. He calls. Turn card, we're never barreling. And I guess we're just giving up. Might still win against some stuff. 10-9, Jack 10, Jack 9, etc. There are a small number of hands that we beat. 10-9 being one of them. Ace 7 suited multi-way. It's 3x, which I'm not comfortable about, but let's see a flop. Aces. Against someone who enjoys 3-betting and squeezing. I'm actually going to try and trap this guy here. Just calls, which is very disappointing. And then we get a flop where I just don't know what to do anymore. We start by checking, but things might be about to get messy. Clearly can't fold. Guess we just check call down here, and if this guy's lucky enough to have us beat, then unlucky for us. Guess we just bet. This guy falls to 4-bet 78% of the time over a small sample. Just going to call with that in mind. Just going to fold a lot or probably just jam on us. We don't want either of those things to happen. Nut flush draw. This guy bets 63% of the time versus miss c-bets. So we're going to check raise. Here we can't play our hand this way and just fold to 1 c-bet. I think we probably just check fold the turn though. Do we check raise here or just call? We're getting a reasonable price just to call. pick up a gut shot to go with our flush draw. Much on his turn. And he slows down a lot on the turn by the look of things. It's going to call here again and then just donk when we improve and fold when we don't. Not hugely happy with how we played this hand. No one looks especially aggro behind us. Open the 10-8 suited because of the fish in the big blind. Don't get the big blind guy. We do get a call from someone who looks like they might be tight. Just one and done on the flop again. Flopping a set against someone who is yet to bet versus a miss C bet, but he's only had one opportunity. So we'll try and check raise. This guy does not fold to our 3-bet. He doesn't like folding or post flop either, so we're going to just take a free card. Our friend here calls. Guess with the gut shot over here, we're just going to call versus his small size and not get there. If he raises here, it's going to stink. But we're not folding. It's a bit awkward. We have like an SPR of 2. What does he call with? Probably doesn't have many over pairs like 10s, jacks, etc. I think we just want to check here. Maybe let him bluff. Like his jack 10s, queen jack, diamonds, etc. He instantly checks back. It's a bit disappointing. He had 9-10. Somewhat ambitious calls there from him. Yeah, I'm not happy with how I played that hand either. Just not sure what size to have made it on the river there. But I should have, yeah, not happy with that hand either. I guess that's a good example of how, like, what's the word I'm looking for? How unsure I am when we're in pots like that in speed poker where we've check raise flop bet turn and we just had 2 calls. Concerned that we're being trapped a little bit, I guess, with like the 6-7, the bigger sets, etc. You know, I think a lot of the time if we just bet there, if he jams, we just run into a better hand. if we just overbet shove, he only calls us with like better hands. That was weak. That was weak. That was bad. That was really bad for me in the river. I think it's just a clear bet fold, or maybe even a bet call. I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit scarred by just always seeing the nuts in big pots at the moment. 3-4 suited, a little bit on the loose side. Going to stab the ace jack, picking up a pair. And opponent calls. Oh, it's this guy who never folds. That was a mistake. C-bet in that hand. That was a mistake. Call and now just check full turn. Yeah, it was a mistake betting into this guy. He should just be checking. He doesn't attack me C-bets. Yeah, come on, Reg. Focus again. You've been derailed, Reggie. Get back on track. Just check fold in this river with the 4. Check call flop. Probably check fold turns that aren't especially interesting. It's a pretty big c-bet, but second pair, backdoor flush draw. Got to see one more. And just check fold now. Excuse me. Right, so this guy, I don't know enough about him. He hasn't got very much money, so we're just going to let the king 10 off go. Just fold 3, so we've got an active guy in the big blind. This guy hasn't folded, and I don't think he's going to fold a better hand if we c-bet this flop. He literally blasts the turn. We have an easy fold. Do we want a 3-bet our king 7 suited? Nope. We do want a 3-bet our pocket 10s. Pretty dry flop. We could just go all in here. I'm not going to, but we could. Guess we just bet that and shove the turn. Three of diamonds isn't ideal. If he's got a flush, then hallelujah. If he's got a 5, hallelujah. He had the ace king, and he was not in a mood to fold. Are we doing some rat holing again, Reg? I think we probably are. Here we got a guy who, what's his small blind 3-bet percentage? 8. Don't you tell me too much. Yeah, just 4-bet and go with it, don't we? Just 4-bet and go with it, I guess. No spade. Lovely. So we're off to do some filthy rat holding. We'll be back with 100 blind stacks momentarily. This is just going to be a jam over this. Ah, interesting. Now we get the cold call on the button. It's a bit weird. I'm concerned here that we 4-bet and then this guy doesn't fuck off. But, I mean, we have to 4-bet our hand. No idea what's going on here with this dude. Run into the ace-9. We do not do a hold. Pretty disappointing, but that's life. At least it was only a small one. At least it was only a tiddler. Was this it? Was that this guy? No, it wasn't. It was someone different. I thought this was the guy who just got the ace king in. Holding the king queen. Right, rat hole time. Picking up 0 pairs. Getting dunked into. This guy's from the UK. He's not playing a full stack and he's doing weird shit. So we can tag him early. No offense to my fellow UK dwellers, but chances are if you're from the UK and you're not playing a full stack, then you're going to be a losing player. This dude's having fun up to now. 75, 71.57. We get them in 3-bet. This is why I can never have a good fold to 3-bet stat, because we just have to just do this and then just like leak red line. At least he doesn't bet. Given we've got this fishy guy here, I think we can probably just about set mine. Could our queen 10 be good? This guy only c-bets 38%, but we can't check fold for 1-bet. Against this guy, guess we just call. Pretty decent river to either bluff catch or pay off. We take it down. This guy doesn't barrel the turn, which leads me to think he's probably relatively weak. Do we have a block here with sevens? Do we have a block? Maybe. Maybe he calls with ace high, that size. He did call with ace high. I think we're going to get three bet decent frequency here. Look at this cunt stack size too. You're getting the green tag, mate. You've got the pink tag, which is usually just like excessively aggro, but you're actually going to get the full on green tag now. You're not playing a full stack. You're playing too loose. Fuck you. 32/9. Under the gun, this guy plays 29/8. We've got ace-8 offsuit. Just fuck it. Can't be asked. Cannot be asked with that spot. So we'll just fuck it. Just win, mate. Just win. We'll fold ace-high to a min bet. We can go two ways here. We have this blue tag in the big blind. Or we can three bet our hand. I think we're going to go with the call to try and play a pot to this fella. Yeah, we're sacrificing some EV by not three betting pre, by not getting the hand heads up. But hopefully we regain that EV long term by just making a good hand and have this guy being in the pot. Three bet the tens, pick up a caller. Guy proposed C bets 80% over a small sample. Guess we'll just have a little stab. Calls, certainly checking back this turn. Flopping a top set here. This guy's passive though, so we're not going to invoke our range checking rule. He calls. Seems like a clean enough turn. Just checking down here. Beating the deuces. Yeah, another call. And what can this guy have? We've got top set. So, I mean, is he going to call with a 10? What's more likely to happen here? Him bluff with a hand like king, queen, ace, king, turn a pair into a bluff, or him call with, we just block so many of his calls with the top set. We're actually going to go for a check raise here. Although I'm not sure he's going to call a check raise. I think we want to check and let him bet and then just try and get paid. I mean, if he's got the queen 9 or the 9/7, then, you know, congratulations. You're winning a stack, I guess. Do we go all in? I guess so. Really not sure what you can call this bet with. Don't think it's a really good bet by any stretch of the imagination. But I don't think he called. I think he's just likely to just have a pretty weak hand there. Maybe we won the maximum. Maybe the all in was excessive. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason I went all in is because I didn't want to just make it smaller, have him jam and then be forced to call off and lose. You just go all in and like, yeah, if I'm not folding, so fuck it, we'll put the lot in. So at least when you do have a call with the worst hand, we win the maximum instead of just losing the maximum when you go all in with the straight. Shit mindset, but there you go. That's where we're at with my speed poker mindset. Always terrified of the nuts, but not so terrified that we don't just, rip it in. Fish in the big blinds, so we're going to open the king jack. This is far from a mandatory open for me under the gun, but we do have this guy in the big blind. Sadly, we get three bet by someone from the UK who Looks kind of weak. Giving up here with the ace-8 against this fishy-looking guy with no chips. Maybe we just win, and we do. Oh, we chop it then. Okay, whatever. Okay, whatever, poker. Just chop it instead. 10-6 suited. Again, we got this fucking idiot in the big blind with no money, so we can't open it. Then with the king 9 off, we got Nate fish. Just going to open it. Very loose open, king 9 off from the cutoff. It's probably not a good open at all, but there's no one behind me that I'm particularly worried about, so fuck it, we'll do it. This guy's just. Oh, right, this guy opened. This guy's cool. We're going to call just to play pot to this fellow. Stab this flop and give up. This guy C bets 72%. As you would expect, it's a high number given his relatively low PFR. We're actually going to donk here though, just to like. I mean, if this guy's checking back a reasonable amount, we just want to try and get value from this guy with our top pair. And if he stays in the pot, then we'll proceed with caution. But ideally, he folds, and this guy gives us some action. Sadly, not. Do we squeeze or call here? I think on the bottom we're just going to call. Okay, not enough defending a 3x open. Checking back. Checking here. If he bets big, we might raise. If he bets small, we'll probably just call. He doesn't do either. He's going to bet pretty big on there. Expect him to fold a hell of a lot of the time here, but going to just bet big for the times that he isn't. He snap calls. We still have the nuts. 3 bet king queen suited down here. And again, I think we just bet big. There's a lot of straights out there that he'll be afraid of, and flushes. I don't think we're going to get called too often here. But we're going to bet big for the times that we do. Flop to the straight here. Just keep me away from blue cards and we're going to be happy. It's a 3 bet pot, wasn't it? Oh, and then the blue one comes. We just lose this pot now, don't we? He either donks and we lose, or he checks and we lose. Maybe we win versus some checks. No, not today. Been 3 bet small by someone who looks active. And then this guy comes along, gives us a really easy decision now, just an easy call. Probably not continuing versus bet from this fellow multi-way. Checks back, which means he's either pot controlling or with like a weak ace. He's got pocket. I mean, still not in love with our hand, not by a long stretch. Certainly not willing to put any more money in just yet. When we river trips, well, there's a chance we might put some money in now. Can we have a raise here against this? This guy's just so passive. I don't think we have a raise here. I think we just have a call and expect to win a lot. This guy raises, then we're just out of there. Queen 10. Okay. Surprised to see a complete bluff there. So it might have some ace X, some jack X, etc. Surprised to see like a total bluff. Betting into two people, but I guess he identified that we were pretty capped, and he also identified he had to bet to win. Flush draw. Are forced to a fair amount of C bets, and we don't have to fold if we get raised, so we're going to bet. Calls. Do not pick up a good barrel card, and given this guy folds a lot to C bets, we're not going to be double barreling. We're just going to try and get there, which we do. We raise versus big bet. Sorry, raise versus small bet, and maybe who knows what against big bet. He doesn't do either. Guess we just overbet now. We'll go with the ISO. He calls. He donks. We fold. That's unfortunate. It's pretty handy. We wanted to see a flop with, but we're not going to. Oh, that was a fucking big one. Sure, you'll have heard that one, gents. That's a pretty bad river. Still win. Going to stab here with a gut shot, backdoor flush draw. Pretty easy give up now. And we're not going to defend this pocket sevens against this short stacker. Do we overlimp the fours from this hole? No, I don't think we do. There's my alarm clock. I am having a Skype call with committed viewer of the channel, Anton, at 11. So that was my wake up call. But for some reason this morning, I went to sleep quite early last night. I went to sleep at 2 a.m., which for me is early. And I woke up at 7:30. So that's why we're doing this now. And I didn't need the alarm clock, which is always nice because alarm clocks trigger me. If your alarm clock goes off, your day's already getting off to a shit start, unless your alarm's set for something you actually want to fucking do. So obviously waking up to chat with Anton about poker, I want to do that. So I don't mind the alarm clock. It still bugs me because I just fucking hate being woken unnaturally. But yeah, if your alarm clock's going off and you're forced to go to work for the fucking day, and you don't particularly enjoy your work, then yeah, I think alarm clocks are one of the, well, not one of the biggest causes, but I think the alarm clocks are a pretty big cause for mental health problems because, they're waking you unnaturally from your sleep, usually to force you to do something you really don't want to do. And how can that be good for your mental health? Would like a squeeze, please? Do not get one. I think we're going to go for check raise. Guy looks like he might be a little bit on the aggro side. I'm going to check raise and shove the turn. So, what side achieves that? I think this one does. Pocket fives is an unhappy open from the cutoff. Expect to get three bet a reasonable amount with the people behind us. Against this size, I guess we just have a call. Really hate set mining in three bet pots, but it's a small enough c bet where we just have to do it. Don't know. Check call, I guess. Certainly versus 1/3 we do. Don't think this is a situation that calls for a block. I think he's going to see bet this board with his like overpairs a lot and maybe pot control turn. Maybe he also just checks back ace high. Queen 10 did not bluff the river there. Interesting. This pool's beginning to look a little bit on the crummy side, and we have been playing for an hour and 20 minutes, so maybe we'll knock it on the head a minute. This table's prime example of that, just there. We'll give it a couple more minutes, see what we think in general. I mean, we've got this guy. We'll see. We'll give it a couple more minutes, and if we don't see any like improvement in the pool, we'll knock it on the head. We can safely take this guy as a fish by now. Check folding, I guess. Yeah, I think we're going to knock it on there. We've got this guy and this guy in the pool. But I think once I start getting it in my head that it's time to take a break, then it's probably a good idea to do it. So we'll do the sitting out thing. This guy has had 4x's. Now he's got a 2.5x all of a sudden. We're still just fold. I think we're mentally ready to check out. So we'll just play our hands out. Try not to make any mistakes at the end of the session. Heavy multi action. And not much to get excited about on that flop. I'll have a quick look at our results in just a moment for the session. And then I think I'll go make a cup of tea and get ready to have a chat with Anton, which I'm looking forward to. And there we go. So how has it gone? This is just 888 for the month. We've got rid of the alias and we're just in the Reggie Time 888 results. So let's see how the session's gone. Apparently we ran above EV, which seems hard to fathom given that we got that huge pot all in with the nuts and lost. Yeah, I guess we'll take it though. $46 profit. Don't put this stat in this river call efficiency. Just study that a little bit because I don't even know what a good number is. Went to showdown 33%, which seems high, but small sample, whatever. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Excuse me. But I enjoyed making it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I hope for you guys out there that do give it a little bit of a shit about me that you can see that I'm still in fine form, still in fine spirits, and it's just poker, isn't it? It's not the end of the world. None of it's life changing. But we're going to leave it there. Thursday, my hours have changed after the gentleman had a seizure yesterday. His mum thinks it's because maybe he had a poor night's sleep. So we're starting a little bit later on Thursday now. So maybe, depending on what time I get up, maybe do a video, maybe not. Depends if I still have money in AAA or not. I won't be doing a Sky Live Play video. It's really boring doing regular table live play videos. But if we still have some money on AAA, and you never know with me, maybe I do, maybe I don't, and I'm up awake early, if we might do another video like this. If not, then we'll be back on Monday with the video. But take care, everybody. Have a great week. Thank you very much for those of you who reached out to give me some support. Really, really, genuinely is appreciated. Thank you very much. Yeah, be lucky, everybody. Be kind, and bye bye for now.